Hello, good morning. So sorry about missing yesterday's stream. I had a huge migraine and I just didn't want to have like the lights on basically and the technology and stuff. And I was just like I can't study well, right? When I have any pain. So skipped yesterday. I did study though last night. I am getting I'm a few months away from finals and so I was trying to figure out a way to like compile everything and I'm not really a component of AI like at all. And if I sound weird, I woke up laying on my ear, and I'm currently cannot hear out of this ear like at all. When I'm have my headphones on, I'm only hearing out of this ear. So waiting for the hearing to come back. I've never experienced that. I've only ever experienced like pain in my ear. Um, so that's fun. I can't hear out of this ear right now. So what we're gonna do? What I was saying was I found Study Fetch because I was trying to figure out like a way to compile everything, like my definitions. Then I'm going to add my outlines when they're done, right? And go through those. I also have Quimby to study with, which is a law school um, platform with case briefs and things, but they have like questions and stuff, which is nice. And then sample essays, which is nice as well. So I'm going to also use that in combination with Study Fetch, just because Study Fetch takes what I compile, right? And I was gonna use the paid, but I was like, let me see how far I can get with the free. I'm paying for law stuff right now, law school ain't cheap. And then like life ain't cheap. So I was like, let me see how far I can get with the free and then go from there. So I kind of did that last night for like a little bit, which made me feel comfortable with some of the like how far I am on the topics. So, but right now, what I'm gonna do is sorry, I have to have my coffee because um I was thinking that I need to catch up on my journaling, so I might do that for a couple minutes. So I'm gonna use that on the little comments here. Um, ending. Did I do 20 minutes last time? I think I did 15 minutes. And up on journaling, and then we'll do notes because that's gonna be part of my thing. But I did quite enjoy doing journaling to start up my time. But we're gonna go until 7:30. That's the plan because I didn't study like I didn't do my lecture. So I'm gonna do two lectures today to make up for the fact that I didn't like do a lecture yesterday. I did study, but it was like later. And then I like ruined my sleep because I was like all awake and like I felt bad like watching shows. The guilt from not being productive. So I'm going to work on journaling at the moment. And I have it right here in the little, but I'm going to catch up on my journaling. Then I'm going to type my notes. Then we're going to get into lecture. So, because I get so far behind sometimes on these. This is my little Hobonichi cousin with inappropriate stickers on it. And then I have my weeks as well. I use this for content planning. I am severely behind on my content. I am sorry, guys. I'm think that I'm making it up with streaming on my main channel, but I don't know if anybody has any ideas for content. I know that because I'm like late on the Nietzsche stuff. Excuse me. Um, it is like back ordered or whatever, so that's the pain of that. Which sucks. But I do have an Ipsy bag thing to film for my main channel, and then I'm gonna throw in the little lip color thing. That I'm not gonna use for one of the winners, and then I have to today or this weekend, depending on how productive I am, because I do have to come back and like film today. So probably not today, but this weekend I'm planning on going to Daiso to get some stationery things. I wish I could go to Michael's and do that, but they don't sell a lot of like stationery stuff. And like Daiso seems a lot more funner. I haven't been there in forever too, so give me a chance to go there and get some things, even though I don't need things, to be quite fair. Um, But yeah, so I'm gonna do journaling first. I'm gonna try my keyword because I do need to see the prompt, and I'm gonna be studying this weekend as well. So um, I have my plan. Study stream today, the cash stuffing. I have my vlog. I'm doing like shorts on my vlogs. So if you haven't checked that out, I have a vlog channel and I'm doing shorts. I was like thinking like instead of waiting until the weekend to upload, I could always do them like the little intro parts to each day as a short. Get some views, and then do the weekly on the weekend basically. Like upload it on the weekend. I think Saturday or Sunday I'll go to Daiso. Daiso. Um shopping. And then I think Sunday is our wash day for Stella because she is on an antibiotic solution thing. So I think Sunday is wash day for Stella, which is a pain, but you have to do it, right? Um, so I'm gonna spend 15 minutes on journaling. I could do a timer or not. Just I don't know. I don't care. Um, I am feeling a lot better though than I did yesterday. Mm, Yesterday was bad, and then it rained, which made it worse. And then the kids just like were testing me yesterday also. I was like, I'm done. And then I came home and I was like so just like done the whole day. Because it was like raining the rest of the day, and I was just like, I don't want to get out. So hopefully it isn't raining again because that was not fun. Um, and I hope everybody has fun plans this weekend. Usually I do something, but sometimes I don't. Like this last weekend, it was birthday weekend, so I had a lot of fun doing that. But sometimes you just need the buffer time. So I think I might be doing weekend studying or like study fetch for like half an hour, 20, 30 minutes, make a conscious effort of studying. I need to find the prompts from. Coffee monster. There we go. And I'm using. Okay. I can show you guys if you guys are interested. I can show you what I'm looking at here. Um, and when I started with Study Fetch, I can show you guys what I am working on because it's not like a copyright thing, so that's good. You know what I mean? So I am happy for that. Mm, mm, maybe this way. No, cannot. That's what I'm looking at though, is my journal prompts things. Because I'm usually good at keeping up, but I haven't been. So, um, that right. Okay. What color makes you think of happiness? For some reason, I always think of like yellow. I don't know why. And then I usually just kind of journal about the day. Um, so I can put on a little, what can I put on? Hmm. I wish I could share like music or something. That would be nice, but mm, the irony is that you guys think I'm so studious and I'd use like classical music. I've been trying to get into listening to Ghost more. It's a rock band, like a masked Swedish rock band, because I have a concert next month, and I'm like, I need to get up on the music again because I haven't listened to the music in a while, and I have a concert, and I don't want to look like a fool and not be able to scream sing along, you know? That's the irony of my study music. Um, so, and then the 23rd is, I wish I didn't have to go to work. That is me every day. I'm like, I don't want to go. Especially yesterday. It was overcast, and then suddenly it went from overcast to, oh my God, it's raining. Because I was like, okay, it's fine. And then it was not fine. I had to change my jacket. Like, so, we will remove this. I'll put on like a 5 minute. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. We'll just switch to this one. And we'll do frames sound. Just because that makes it where it seems like peaceful. And I don't feel like I have to be. Is that a weird thing saying that? Probably. We'll do. No, I'll just not even do a timer, honestly. Um, what's the point? I'm just journaling. But yeah, yesterday was weird. Like kids were crazy. Usually they're cool, but Oh, okay. So, boop on that. I wish the Hobonichi doesn't have a bookmark, but sorry for also the name's late. I'm like all over the place. So that is done. Not actually. Sorry, kicked myself out. Didn't know you could do that, honestly. um. Okay. Oh, I need to be quicker. I need to mind the back buttons on these things. This mess. Back button. Now onto my outline, which I need to add to. Here. We worked on what concurrent and successive short fusers yesterday, which short fusers are just people that commit torts basically. I'm like, why you gotta have a fancy name for everybody? Like, you know? Okay. Let me just brightness here, because why is it they're not working great today? Nothing's working great today. And I might need my glasses because yeah, blind. Better or worse? Better or worse? I don't know if that's better or worse. Nothing to put on glasses. Like, is that worse or is that better? That's when you know you're tired. So I'm going to work on adding to my outline, which I will show you guys now. If my eyes will. What a big scratch it is. No, I have a giant scratch on my glasses. No, it isn't. Okay, no, it isn't. No, it's not a scratch today. Good. I was like, oh my god. You don't need a scratch in my glasses. To be honest with you guys. Like that would just be the gimme of my day, getting a giant scratch on my glasses. Okay, working. Previous notes to my outline. And I have to go back on my torts and add more because there's a whole section that I didn't add on to yet that I did notes for. Um, we're doing right now, and I will share that with you guys. No, use. So we're gonna do that, and I'm gonna add on to this one. We were working on joint engine print successfully. Okay, so going. You sorry for talking, but I feel like I did a thing on the studies at last night, and it actually does help me to like talk because it gets it in my head. So two or more, not so, or more persons who join together to commit a tortious act, which is like because it's torts. More people consider the criminal each tortfeasor is vicariously liable for the acts done by the other in the furtherance of the common design. And then vicarious activity, which that we go over in the next one. Who is not charged with personal fault or wrongdoing may be held liable for the tort users, like tort users, that because of the dependent relationship to the tort user. And then, tort user are more persons who are not acting in conflict with each other, yeah, combined to produce a single indivisible injury to the plaintiff. Okay, and then I'll just put it on. Ah, there we go. Users are not vicariously liable for each other's. So an example of this that you used was like if you're in a car accident and you get hit by two cars, they don't plan on hitting you, it just happens. So that's why they're the concurrent producers. The joint ones are the ones that actually commit the crime together, like robbery, basically, if that makes sense. Then successive are like you have the timeline of the event of like a car crash, right? And you're over to the side and you're getting info. And then somebody else comes by and hits that car again, So that will be successive where you have like another accident happening. So, but there's a split rule with concurrent users, basically. I hate the rule splits. There's so many. Um, Majority rule. Damages will be apportioned in concurrent worth. So basically, like when you have to like charge somebody, or be like, hey, who's gonna pay for the damage? They both equally could pay for damage if you're like a confident, basically. Um, Minority rule. Joint and several ability. Oop, I feel like I'm getting my hearing back, people. In a pure one, holding each concurrent court user. I'm like losing my place here. Oh, okay. Liable for the whole amount of the harm. So basically, it depends on the jurisdiction you're in. If you're in a minority or majority on things, that's how they like find basically. But when it comes to like my final, they won't tell you. You have to like explain both and how that would happen. And then no liability. Each user is responsible for the whole amount of the plaintiff the plaintiff's injury. I have so much writing. I'm like, where did I go? And each may have to prove full judgment. And then rule of law, multiple users established from summons the price, which is a case that we talked about in class. If there is clear evidence that two or more parties were negligent and injury was caused by one of them, and if it can be shown that the negligent parties caused the injury, the burden of proof is on each defendant is on. Oops, each defendant to show that he didn't receive harm, absent evidence, the negligent parties may held jointly and severely liable for the damages. Ooh, say one page down. That's so much to organize my notes. And then we're going to go successive. And then the most funniest number for the notes. Just for the written notes, nothing else, nothing more. Nothing more than that. Don't get your English, no just I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, no. Okay. What was the thing? Oh, I need to go back here though. Um, is successful. This one negligence follows an initial injury as to existing under the rules of proximate station to be user negligence didn't break the meaning of station, but in motion by the first user and the first word user may be held liable for both acts. However, each different user negligence, negligence acted chain of ultimate causation. The first user can only be held liable for his Like, okay, now we're gonna go back to here to joints, roll joints and roll liability, these controls, joints and right, not especially this and several liability, this each work user is responsible for all the amount of these plaintiffs injured can be full they related which contribution and indemnity is contribution rates to by one and user against another or user in enforcement of the others or shall use judgment. Basically, if they found that one of you guys was at fault, the other one can come back and be like, hey, no, actually it wasn't. And then, like, typically, then some dependent has to pay the plaintiff more than the these provisions and doesn't think that they're um that they should basically indemnity a shipping of the woody and then only secondarily vicariously liable to the party who is primarily liable where it indemnification secondary barely or vicariously liable indemnification to obtain full reimbursement from the party who is primarily liable. So basically get a payback. Means Indians have adopted a rule full of partial and use ultimately ultimately. Now we're gonna go back and fix all my spelling errors. And I think I'm almost getting my hearing back in my ear. Which is good. Okay. Now we're going to get into miscellaneous concepts. We will do death first because it's listed. And then we'll do death statue. Oops, 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 which when you become using the intentional lightning mechanism, so this is death of intention is realizing the brothers of the using money and brain and recover for statues will you have a you will see existing of and senators to continue their death studies and role in the world. I'm gonna add add more. Hmm. I guess we can add one more down here. There we go. In the well, human law a cause of questions or personal needs with with the with of either the plaintiff or the okay. Driving statutes on birth, on birth right here. Um, birth, birth, usually, like, claim or negligence, and a position or land with high nations potential negligence and negligence involved in failure against by contraception function rescue natal injuries and lies May, 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 first, child, powerful, and then that's not me. There we go. Last one. Injury in some cases that it can be injury. What is that for that? I'm gonna take a little 5 minute breaky break. A little break hour. Hello, hi. I was just typing up a note for our torch class. Hello, welcome to the stream. You're the only one. That's okay. Um, you can use this time for productivity. Yeah, I'm just trying to get my stuff done. Um, because I find if I don't do it in the morning, um, I don't get done at all, basically. But last night I had a moment of randomness, where I was like, let me just work on studying, and then I ruined my sleep. Because I see this platform like all over. It's obviously ads, but for Study Fetch, and I was like, let me try it because I have all these definition things to just compile and add in, right? And it did actually help, because it created things off of just like my definitions, which was cool. I'm not really a component of AI really, but if it helps, like in a vacuum situation like that, but like I don't like the environment. It's that's I think we're gonna take a 5 minute breaky break. I'm gonna put that up on the screen though, so I don't like I need to put something down. um Short break. We'll start it with that and share it if I can find my streaming platform again. I'm gonna remove that and we're gonna put in um not this sharing and we all need to put it in there. There we go. Where, um uh, no, I don't need okay. Stop. Okay. Let me add all these stupid pop-ups. Okay. We are going to where I hate. Yes, I am a law student. I work on a remote program. I'm a couple months away from my finals, so that's why I'm like buckling down on my studying. Because you don't procrastinate on these things because it is a lot actually. So trying to catch up and get things done in the morning before I go to work, basically, because that seems to be the only time I get stuff done. 'Cause when I get done with work, I'm like, I'm so tired, blah blah blah, and then I find excuses. So yes, I am. I'm gonna put on a 5 minutes if I can share it. Blah, 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 blah. There. Um, no, I don't like how it defaults to this. I don't like how it defaults. I want half a spoon. There we go. So that is the timer, 5 minutes. I am okay. The pain in my ear, because I woke up with pain in my ear, of course. Woke up with migraine yesterday, but now I woke up with like no hearing in this ear. That's really fun to experience. And my coffee is cold, so I'm gonna warm it up. But 4 minutes on the clock for a break, and then I'm gonna work on my next class, which is I need to get that up actually. I should get that up. I'm gonna take down this one. Okay. I usually there we go. I'm usually more organized than this. No, actually, you know what? I am not organized at all. Not at all. Not in the slightest. How about that? Let's be real. Just organized. Actually, I am truthfully not. Okay. And you. Okay. And go to my torts class. I'm like just a mess today. Thank goodness it's Friday though. So happy. Oh, you're a software engineer student? That is sounds like a lot. I feel like anything with computers, I'm like, all I know is the basics sometimes. Where I'm just like, I have such respect for people that are into the more depth of the computers and how everything works. But yes, respect, respect. Let's see, towards class, and I'm on. I forget which one. Okay, we're gonna do strict liability. Okay, okay. I'll take this off. I don't need my keyboard. And what I like to do is kind of like write down the title, and then it has, which I cannot show you. I wish I could. 1 hour and 7 minutes. Okay. I usually have to do an allotted amount of time for it to count. So that's how it kind of works. For immunities, strict liability, and vicarious liability. I kind of do like a start time, end time, so I can keep it straight. In end time, and then I do like a duration time, so I make sure I'm running the clock because if you don't do the whole time, then it doesn't count. And I've had that happen like now 3 times actually. 1 hour, 7 minutes. And I do this with Pomodoro though, so 25 on, 5 off because I literally just I cannot. But what I'm gonna do for this last minute, my coffee, I'm gonna heat it up and put it in the microwave because I need hot coffee to finish this out. So there we go. Okay. This week has been weird because we had Monday off for MLK Day. Because I am a US student. We had Monday off, so it's all weird. Because I was like, oh, it's Thursday. And I was like, no, it's not. So, but I can't show you guys legally my platform because people can get in trouble for that. So, what I end up defaulting to is the Pomodoro timer. We have 28 seconds. But if at any time you have questions, I will answer them. What classes do I have? Okay, I have like 7 more classes. Because what I can do for I'm trying to double up to get it all done so then I can work on stuff in February, just like my papers and stuff. So, that's the break time done. I'm gonna put on the focus timer and go from there. And oh, that's so nice. Sometimes I'm just here and it's just like just doing the stream, like even if no one shows up, it does make me like accountable, you know what I mean? So it gets me done like to do stuff. So, but just yesterday, I was feeling real bad because the migraine. It was like an ocular like eye thing, and I was like, I'm not even gonna be productive. Like anything I studied, if I had studied like in the morning when I was in pain like that, it wouldn't have been stuck. To be quite honest with you. So I'm gonna work on my stuff though. Thank you for joining, and thank you for supporting. I very much appreciate. Um, and yeah, I'm gonna work on my studying. If any questions anytime though, I can always. That's why I split screen. So if I have questions, they appear, and I can answer them. Because anyways, the longer I take, technically, the better it is. Because I get closer to my. I have to have an allotted amount of like time. So immunity, strict liability, and vicarious liability. Yay! So fun. All right, I will see you guys in about 23 minutes. So I'm gonna mute my mic so you guys don't hear me obnoxiously talking or making comments. So. Okay, so break is, or no, sorry. Yes, iron coins. Woo! No, I don't want to break break street. Sorry, break. 5 minutes on break. Whew, that was, I got us a ton. Those 25 minutes. We went into the immunities of like husband and wife. You know, that classic, you can't, what is that? Mm, I'm thinking of the wrong thing, maybe. You know how, like, the marriage immunity thing for, like, breaking laws or whatever? Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong thing. But it used to be a thing where one spouse couldn't do another because they were, like, doing it too much back in the day. And so they abolished it. And then same with parent and child. Um, except for if it involves property, that is still relevant. Charitable immunity, it used to be like, oh, if you go to a charity, like a soup kitchen, right? And you get food and then you get poisoned, or like, not poisoned, sick, right? And it was like, well, you got a free meal, so like you can't really sue. But now it's like you can. I mean, that's how it used to be, but you could because they like, you got sick. But if you're a prevented non-paying recipients from suing a charity. However, paying recipients could sue the charity because it wasn't a charity, it's a business, you know? And then that now charities don't have immunity towards that because um, the nonprofit should be held liable for anything that happens. And then governmental immunity, which is just, it's also known as sovereign immunity, with like, you can't really, the basis of that was like, you couldn't sue the king, you know? But now you can if they breach things with you, um, at least in the US, with federal appeals and things. So you could take it to the federal courts, basically. Um, and then strict liability. I'm so sorry, my nose is like all stuffed up today. I am such a mess. My nose is stuffed up. I have no hearing in my left ear. I don't know. And strict liability is liability without fault imposed against the defendant, even though the defendant hasn't done anything intentional. And then we're going to like where that applies. So like the first one is like dangerous animals. So, like if you keep a dangerous animal and it scratches or claws somebody, then you're legally, you didn't do it, but your animal did it, then you're liable, basically. So we're going through that and going through other things as well, from what I could tell from my notes. What else? Abnormally dangerous activities, and then we're going into vicarious liability after that, with like employment, like just because you work for a company, does that mean like you're liable for it or not? Um, kind of like the whole like Nazi thing of like, oh, we're following orders, but it's like, I know, but like you didn't have to. So it's like same thing with employment because it's like, are you liable because you did something that your job told you to do, even though it was not legal? So going through that stuff. Is law hard? Yes, it is. Yes, it is because there's so many different rule splits usually, which is like depending on your jurisdiction. But because in the exams they don't tell you what jurisdiction, you're gonna have to bring up both. So you're gonna have to bring up the law, and then you're gonna have to bring up the rule split, which is majority or minority, and explain both and how that would affect your situation, basically. That's a lot of rule splits for tort law, criminal law, and contracts, depending on what you're doing. It's a lot. So But yes, 13 more seconds, and then we're gonna get into another thing. Oh my gosh, my nose. I'm just like a mess today. Okay. Start focus. I am working part-time for a school district. So, but I don't, and how my program works, I'm kind of like all year round, so I can't like do like an internship. Wish I could. I mean, I know some people would probably do it, but I have an interesting case where I don't do semesters where I could have like the summer off, you know? I mean, I have summer off because I work for a school district, but it's year round. So like when I get done in April, I'll be doing my 2L in May, and then I get like done in April again. So I don't really have like time to intern, which would be nice because then it looks good on the resume. Um, but how it works out with the timeline of that, when I finish, because this is a 4-year program instead of a 3, um, I would have enough time possibly to study for the bar to take in July. So I started at the right time, basically. So, which yes, you guys will see me, and I will be doing all that in 3 years' time. But yeah, so I'm gonna get back to studying. Put that back up. Okay. See you guys in 23 minutes. Okay, so we're on. We did a whole bunch of um strict liability where it applies, and then I did some examples of like an abnormal dangerous activity um with like a case. So I wrote that down because it dealt with something that happened on somebody else's property, and it was like they aren't. And then someone ruled that like the flooding, it happened like it was a flood, and they ruled that like at first like he wasn't negligent or at fault at all, but then the person sued. And then the issue was, should a defendant be held liable for damages caused by something he brings onto his lands which escapes and causes damages, even if he is not negligent um, nor did anything wrong intentionally. So I think he had like a silo and it broke of like water. And then and they held that the person was liable for the damages. The rationale was that if the thing which escapes and causes damages is a naturally occurring item, like a lake, then those who own or use surrounding properties must take measures to protect themselves. However, if a defendant brings something onto his land which doesn't naturally occur there, then the defendant is presumed to be doing so for his own profit, pleasure, or desire. So the defendant should do so at his own peril. And then the rule of law for that is if a person puts his property to a non-natural use by bringing something onto it which does not naturally occur there, he did so at his own peril, and he is liable for damages caused by the thing's escape. And then we did non-natural additions to land. One who brings something onto his land which is non-natural and likely to cause injury if it escapes is strictly liable for all damages resulting from an escape. And then defenses to strict liability, there aren't any usually, but there are some certain jurisdictions that certain things apply with contributing and comparative negligence. It's not a defense for strict liability torts unless the plaintiff was knowingly assumed an unreasonable risk, like taunting a wild animal. And there's the assumption of risk. A limited defense based upon consent may apply as a type of assumption of risk. And then we were going on to vicarious liability, basically. So I have a minute left. I'm just going to sit here, drink my coffee. My hearing is kind of coming back, but the pain hurts. So if I go to work, I might end up going to urgent care actually later because I just want to check my ear out and make sure you're good to go. Unless the pain recedes or something by the time I get to work, then I won't. But if it's still there, it's listening and I can kind of hear like a little bit. It's just muffled. I just want to make sure I didn't damage it when I was sleeping, you know? So that's kind of where I'm at right now. But we have a minute left, so I'm just gonna sit here and wait, and then we'll go on to vicarious liability. I was just in the middle of writing the notes for that, but yeah. Having everyone is going on and blah 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 blah. I hope everyone is having a good day or night wherever you are. Um, I could have been better not waking up with a ear pain, but what are you gonna do? Um, but at least I'm getting in good whew, good progress into my notes. I'm almost done with the class time, like all the extra time, which is good. All the extra time I need is good because then it gets me closer to my goal of I think it's 60 hours for torts. I cannot for the life of me remember. I cannot. How much for torts? I have it on a sticky. Um, 60 hours. So I don't know where I'm at right now, but we shall. I will check that actually. And it doesn't count. I have things for like assignments count, but I just want to check. I'm gonna mute myself so you guys don't. I'm currently sitting at almost 20 hours. Um, 40 more left. But with how everything is, I can also listen to my definitions and stuff as well to eat time. So that's not bad. But yeah, I'm gonna go back into my notes and I'll see you guys after. I'm going to take off the focus thing because I'm almost done with my class. So I'm just going to continue on because I have like a few minutes left and then we'll go from there. All right, we're going to. I just finished up the class, and I did that in. What was it 7:42? So I did that in um for me. Started at so 1 hour 33 minutes. So I finished that, and I'm gonna end the stream now because I'm done. So I'll see you guys Monday. Bye, guys.